Alright, today we're going to be jumping back into the Bitcoin price action. As you can see, we did break out of the falling wedge, right? The bullish pattern that I said was probably more likely to break out of the upside. We did in fact go ahead, break out of this. Now we are struggling with the weekly value area, right? The weekly point of control. And that is the dashed like yellow line that comes across here. You can see this is the entire volume profile over here on the left for the week, right? So we're testing that point of control, getting some pretty heavy resistance on it right now. Also have, an order block up in that area, as well as, that's where daily value area high has also landed, as well as a previous daily point of control. So a lot of confluence up at this level for resistance. All right, so identified the resistance. Now can we identify some support, right? If we were to come down here, where are we looking for support? Well, right there locally, you can see, point of control and value area low of the day, as well as previous value area high, previous point of control. If we jump over here to trading light, you can see we also have TPO point of control, as well as point of control of this entire range that you can see on my screen here, right? This profile on the left is basically anything in the visible range, right? So if I'm showing more of the range here, that's your more macro point of control, and you can see that's actually where we're getting resistance, right? On the big volume levels, right? Charts mainly find support and resistance on volume levels. That's kind of your biggest confluence. After that is time-based levels. So time-based levels are the TPO profile. You can see if we were to find support, TPO point of control from previous day, as well we have TPO point of control and value area low right below us. We can turn on the daily volume levels as well, and you can see, these levels coincide pretty much at the same levels, right? TPO volume levels very similar. So those are the levels to be watching for there if we do start coming down here, because we did reject off a pretty big level. And I do actually expect us to come down to some of these levels. Actually, more likely that we do come all the way down to this point of control. And the reasoning for that is if we go over here on my other chart, you can see this is the breakout of that falling wedge. I can almost guarantee you there's a lot of retail and leveraged positions that were opened right on the back test of this wedge. And that's why I don't really trade wedges, patterns, that sort of thing, because even if you are right and it does break out, a lot of the times it will snap back and sweep your liquidity, right? So I would not be surprised, since there's a bunch of stops that were put at this level, right? Everybody put their stop at entry after price went up. Now price is probably going to come back, test point of control to grab all the liquidity from those traders. That would make a lot of sense there. So just be looking for something like that. You don't really want to be losing any of these levels, right? Previous day point of control, value area low. If you do lose those levels and it's not a sweep, right? It's Bitcoin, so something like this where it just, wicks straight through them real quickly and then heads on up. I mean, that's definitely a Bitcoin thing to do. But if it's not a wick, right? If we do start closing candles down below the point of control value area of the previous day, you really don't have much support below you. So I would be watching for that, right? That we have this trend coming down there that was tested once. So, wicking down to it real quick, stopping out positions, everyone in this range, right? Just stopping them all out and then continuing up. Totally acceptable. But if we do start, closing candles down here, I would expect price to actually snap all the way down to these levels where all of the liquidity is, right? Tons of liquidity from all of these wicks in here. So don't be surprised if we do, real quickly, jump on down there, grab everything before heading on up. Again, just like in my last video, if we go down there before sweeping these highs, it is bullish. So do not worry about going down there, right? Don't panic if we do go to, 59K. That's actually very bullish, because it tells you that they're trying to use that liquidity down below to get in bigger positions, right? So if you're a hedge fund, right, and you want to get into a 10,000 Bitcoin long position, well, you're not going to be able to just limit in anywhere, right? You're going to put your limits where the stops are, right down in here, and you can actually fill a 10,000 Bitcoin position, right? Because as soon as a leverage long stop gets hit, it's essentially going to flip that position into a short, and they can use that liquidity to actually fill their massive long positions. So if we do sweep down there and it's not bearish, which it shouldn't be bearish if we don't take out these highs first, then that is a big whale, institution, whatever, market maker, whatever you want to call it, filling their positions so that they can have a real nice long up to wherever price is going. Another thing I can see here is it was a proper swing fail. If you take these highs as a liquidity zone, we swept that liquidity, got under it on probably a 5-minute time frame, right? Pretty much 5-minute time frame. You can see how this kind of works, right? We have that sweep level of previous highs. You see price swing out of it and then get back under. what a smart trader is going to do, right? Something I would do is you just put your limits at the sweep level after that occurs with your stop up here. And that's, what you're going to do if you're short in the market there. So you can see it was a valid sweep structure there, which tells me, we could be seeing those lower prices like locally. Like this is not a big sweep level, so it just tells me that like if we're going to sweep these poor highs real quick, probably going to sweep these poor lows real quick and then head on up. That makes most sense to me. Right, take out these, then go ahead, take out these before heading on up. So we'll see if that does actually in fact play out. Would not be surprised to see that at all. Just back over here in Trading Light, if we're looking at order flow, right, open interest, CVD, are we really seeing anything that can tell us if the market's more bearish or bullish? And no, similar to yesterday, very 50-50 on where price is going to go just based on open interest. Still the weekend, so that's kind of expected. The only thing that is notable is that you do have a lot of trapped shorts in this range here. So that's probably going to act as support, right? You have all these trapped shorts. Makes a lot of sense for price to come down there and not want to accept below. Because as soon as it starts accepting below, you're going to untrap all these positions, and Bitcoin likes to keep positions trapped. Did they already close out? Well, if we see here, open interest when these positions were opened versus open interest now, it has not reset. So, price is probably still going to not want to accept below these positions because they're still trapped, right? So market makers are going to want to use those trapped positions to their advantage and continue to bring price up, so just taking that into consideration. If we do know that the sweep level is here, but our trap positions are down here, you have point of control right under that sweep level. We could definitely just like almost get to the trap positions right above the sweep and then head on up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Just a hypothetical there, right? I'm not going to be trading this structure at all. The place to be putting in your trades was in this area where you had Binance shorting and price was going against Binance, right? That was a easier long. This is kind of more just, let's see what happens, right? It's just a guess on if that's how price is going to play out, but would make a lot of sense, right? And those shorts being opened at the lows was not mutually exclusive to Binance. That was also happening a lot on Bybit over here on the right. So that tells me that most exchanges probably were shorting the lows there, and we can actually check that over here on Coinalyze, right? This is something that I haven't really showed much on the channel. This is a, CVD open interest view of aggregated exchanges. So like up here, yellow CVD, this is Binance. Blue, this is Bybit, and then purple, this is an aggregation of all other exchanges. So like Kraken, OKX, pretty much all your other main exchanges that you can leverage, that's going to be here. As well as on this bottom half, these are CoinM margin contracts, right? So you have contracts in USDTM and then CoinM. So you're opening them against Bitcoin or against USDT. Whales, market makers, institutions, they will open them against Bitcoin, right? So CoinM margin contracts. So usually, smart money is going to be on this bottom half, whereas, more retail is going to be using those USDT contracts. So we can use this to kind of get some more info on the markets. It's very overwhelming though. So I don't use this like super locally to get into a trade or anything like that. It's just too much information to digest on a short term, but you can go ahead and zoom out to longer time frames and then just kind of analyze what was going on in the markets. So if we look at price up top, wherever the short's being opened, well, it would have been at these lows down here. Right, so we're going to look, we can see, open interest going up, CVD going down, Binance are shorting, we already know that. Same thing with Bybit, right? They were shorting in this range, we already know that. Now I want to look at all the other aggregated exchanges. Let's see, are they opening positions as well down there? And while not quite as much, right? Not as much open interest being put into the market here, CVD was going down pretty quickly, right? It was going down even more than Binance and Bybit. So yeah, you can tell that there was a lot of shorts being opened on all these other exchanges. So a lot of positions trapped at the lows there. You can see on all these exchanges, open interest has not been reset. So some of those shorts are still open. We do have those trap positions, something to take note of. And you can see what I'm talking about with this CoinM here. You see on Binance how the CVD is going up during the lows with open interest. So they're opening longs in this area. Whereas on the USDT margin contract, you can see that CVD is going down while open interest is going up. So definitely something that's nice to look at. This is Coinalyze. It's free. Just to look up Coinalyze on Google or whatever, and you will be able to set up your chart like this for absolutely free. and just take some time, study this stuff. If you do want to get into like leverage trading, it is real interesting to see all this kind of play out. But yeah, that happened real perfectly at the lows. So that's what that's looking like there. Again, it just confirmed that there are trap traders at these lows. So it makes a lot of sense for price not to want to go ahead and accept those lows. Yes, that's what I'm seeing on the charts here. Pretty much we have higher highs and higher lows here very locally. So could price not even go down and sweep any of that? Definitely, right? It's very likely that price does just kind of continue to march up here. So yeah, everything's looking real good as of now. Again, markets are closed for the weekend, so we're not going to know too much until, S&P opens on Monday. Let me see what direction a traditional finance wants to go. Monday could be a fake out, and then the rest of the week be bullish or something like that. So just something to take note of. We'll see what happens, and I'll make sure to be covering that on this channel every day here. I'm trying to upload every single day of the week now, even including the weekends, which I hadn't done previously. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want more content like this. Check out the Discord. Link is in the description down below. It is completely free to join. But with that out of the way, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.